Welcome one and all. Thank you for joining us here on GameYard TV for another video. We are extremely delighted that you have joined us. And if it is the first time you are joining us, please hit that subscribe button. Please remember to like the video, to share your comments down in the comment section. The more you engage with the video is the more, other persons will be able to watch this video. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. This video is basically centered around the Cricket West Indies third quarter press conference that was held on October 1, and I will be sharing with you some of the discussion points coming out of that press conference. So stay with us as we will be sharing with you the details of that meeting. Now, two crucial points would have been made in the meeting, and I'm going to share with you those two critical points. The first point is there is a dire need of collaboration between all the stakeholders, of Cricket West Indies in order to improve the cricket right across the region. And those stakeholders are government, the territorial boards, even us as fans, commercial companies, and there are a lot more stakeholders, that Cricket West Indies are say. Even the Olympic Committee now is a big stakeholders for the Cricket West Indies. So they are saying that there is a dire need for all these stakeholders to to combine their efforts in order to grow the sport, right? Another critical point that would have been made at the meeting is that the financial model of the ICC is not conducive to smaller region like ours, and so the region has to find other alternative ways to grow cricket in the region. And another point that they would have made is that there is financial constraint where Cricket West Indies is concerned, and so there will be some curtailing of some of the competition this year or going into next year, 2026. So we will be sharing all those details with you. So those are three of the critical points that would have been made, in the press conference. After West Indies were dismissed for 27 against Australia, an emergency meeting was convened, and these are some of the recommendations coming out of that meeting. You have some immediate action, which is 0 to 6 months, as well as there are some longer form recommendation which needs some more deliberation, and also the setting up of some smaller committee to iron out those issues. Now, in terms of the immediate action, first, recruitment of a specialist coach. An internationally proven batting coach will be hired to work across the system, and a full-time sports psychologist or performance coach will join the senior men's team. The women's team role will also be upgraded to a full-time role. So I think this is a very good initiative, because when you look at even our players in India, right, there are some, obviously there are some psychological issues that they are dealing with, which contributed to their poor performance in that that game, that first test match. Now a sports psychologist will help the players to get more settled going into the wicket, especially for a debutant, and also having a batting coach will help iron out some of the deficiencies in their batting. So hopefully that this initiative can really make our players better at the international level. The second recommendation would have been the High Performance Center project, a capital project proposal will be advanced for the state-of-the-art facility at Coolidge Cricket Ground, including modern nets, gym, and rehabilitation infrastructure. And this is very, very important, right, for our cricketers. And I mean, there's not much you can say about having a high performance center, right? That will really help, you know, the team and the players in rehabilitation. In a gym will help them to build, you know, their physical physique, which is the product, right? Because you have to stay fit in order to play the game, right? And having a modern net is something that is very, very important. And I hope that modern net is also include an indoor net, so if rain is falling, the players can still, you know, be able to train, right? And this third point is accountability and standard. Franchise team will now submit individual development plan and meet new minimum standard. Players' fitness will be closely tracked, supported by the new regional fitness leaderboard. And that's a very, very important piece of information as well, because that will track, you know, the development of the players in the region, right? And I think those three recommendations are very, very, very important, and I hope that, you know, these will be implemented, not only implemented but also monitored. In terms of the further action or the medium to long-term recommendation and National Cricket Development Framework unifying grassroots, school, academy, and high performance pathways. The second point is a comprehensive franchise reform to ensure accountability of players' development and consideration of alternative professional models. The third point is the establishment of a standard academy for age 11 to 18 to feed into the high performance program. Fourth point is the completion of the high performance center in Antigua as the regional hub for elite development. The fifth point is greater focus on financial sustainability, including lobbying for equitable ICC revenue distribution and new partnership with government, private entities, and philanthropists. And the last point is the structure mentorship framework, connecting current and former West Indies players with emerging talents. And these are some very, very important points as well. And it's all good, you know, to have recommendation, but we would like to see these being implemented and being monitored in the future. As I have said earlier, West Indies is currently strapped for cash, and so that will cause, you know, some changes in our, you know, tournaments across the region for 2026. Because one of the things that the Cricket West Indies director would have pointed out, he said that, like, for the tour of England into Jamaica and also India and Australia, those teams generally pay, you know, for those tours normally pay for themselves. So it's not much that Cricket West Indies will need to, you know, take out of their pocket in order to finance the tour, right? But when it comes on to New Zealand, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and these teams, when they are touring the West Indies, it really costs West Indies a lot of money. West Indies now, because of these teams, will predominantly be, you know, touring the West Indies come 2026. So West Indies will need to find a lot of money in order to finance these tours, and so that will affect, you know, our domestic tournament, because Cricket West Indies, as they would have mentioned, they are strapped for cash right now, and so we will see a reduction in matches right across the region in terms of our domestic tournaments in 2025, 2026, right? The combined campuses and colleges and West Indies Academy will be withdrawn from the West Indies Championship and also the West Indies Super 50 tournaments. So they will be withdrawn for 2025-2026 season. The women's regional cricket, there will be a merger between the T20 and the ODI back into a single tournament this year, likely to be held ahead of the Sri Lanka series, and that series is scheduled to be played with the West Indies women in February of 2026. There is a shift in terms of developing the skills of the women's senior team. As such, there will be a camp scheduled for November this year, which is next month, towards the end of December, in order to work on the skills of players. In terms of our boys under 17 tournament, this will be discontinued for this year. However, an extended under 19 tournament will be held, where the players will be able to be exposed to both red ball and white ball formats. So those under 17 players, they will be given a chance to play along with the under 19 team, those who would have met the criteria. As you know, the under 19 team, U team, will be playing World Cup next year. So I think that preparation will not be affected. The West Indies under 19 team will be playing in November against England and the USA for the preparation of the ICC under 19 World Cup scheduled for January 2026. At least 7 matches will be played in this series, right? So their preparation will not be affected, even though Cricket West Indies is strapped for cash. Now we will be moving on to the retainer contracts. Cricket West Indies would have published that article a few days ago with all the names of the players who have been contracted for the period 2025-2026. Now, Cricket West Indies would have mentioned the point that the contracts that they would have given to players, these contracts are aligned to ICC global events, right? And if their thought process is, if a player is not likely to play in the year, then no contracts will be awarded to those players, right? So that's the thought process of issuing the contracts. Now, last year, Cricket West Indies would have start to publish 2-year contracts, and as we know, Shea Hope, Jaden Seals, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, and Gudakish Moti, these players had a 2-year contracts from last year, so that contract period will continue this year. In terms of this year, Cricket West Indies would have issued 5 more 2-year contracts, and these were issued to Casey Carty, Ruston Chase, Justin Graves, Sherfian Rutherford, and Jamel Warrican. Now the other contracts would have been issued to Alec Athanase, Akil Hussain, Ravman Powell, and Romario Shepherds. So these are our 1-year contracts. So 15 players would have been issued contracts this year for the men's team. In terms of West Indies Academy, Akeem Ogis, Ryan Bandu, Jedediah Blades, Rivaldo Clark, Mavenja Dindial, Giovanni De Pisa, Nathan Edward, Damel Evelyn, Amari Goodridge, Mbeki Joseph, Yohan Lane, Zishan Mutara, Kelvin Pittman, Renico Smith, and Carlang Tuckett will have been awarded academic contracts for the year 2025 to 2026. And 3 players would have performed well this year, and they were awarded developmental contracts. So these contracts, West Indies will help these players to continue to develop, and these players are Joel Anjo, Jedediah Blades, and Yohan Lane. As it relates to the senior women's team, Haley Matthews and Shemaine Campbell, they would have been awarded 2-year contracts last year, so that contract will continue. Deandra Dottin and Chanel Henry, they would have been awarded 2-year contracts this year. And 1-year contracts would have been awarded to the following players: Aliyah Lane, Afi Fletcher, Janelia Glasgow, Shanisha Hector, Zayda James, Kiana Joseph, Ashmini Munisar, Stephanie Taylor, and Charisma Ramarak. 2 young players, they would have shown really great potential this year, and so they were awarded with developmental contracts. That's Jazara Claxton and Renelia Grimond. So these 2 players were awarded developmental contracts in order to aid in their continued development, to be able to continue to to perform well at the international level. In terms of the West Indies Academy, that's a women's academy, contracts were awarded to Abigail Bryce, Asabi Kalenda, Nejani Cumberbatch, Brianna, Ari Sharon, Trishan Holder, Denaba Joseph, Naya Lachman, Samara Ramnath, Amrita Ramtahal, Selena Ross, Chanel Shaw, Steffi Sugrim, and Kate Wilmot. As it relates to the men's schedule for next year, 3 tours would have been confirmed already. That's home tour here in the West Indies. That Sri Lanka will play 2 tests, 3 ODIs and 3 T20s. New Zealand will play 3 ODIs and 3 T20s, and Pakistan will play 2 test matches. And the venues for these matches have not been announced as yet, so stay tuned to GameYard TV. As those information becomes available, I will definitely share it with you. As it relates to the women's senior team, Sri Lanka will play 3 ODIs, 3 T20s. Australia will play 1 test, 3 ODIs and 3 T20s, and Pakistan will play 3 ODIs and 3 T20s. That's a preliminary schedule for 2026. Thank you so much for joining us here on GameYard TV. We really value your support, and please stay tuned. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. Remember to like the video and to share it with your friends and family, and you can share your comments down in the comment section. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.